I see you. I am the protagonist in I story. I as I vision, mirror, neuron, snap. You interpret what you heard of I story through the you filter in the eye of your eye, and the only way in and out and in and out is to you, your own story. Back into the eye, stings like it be, butterfly wings as it holds your own eye as you, as we falls behind and loses sight. You, I, the sea in me, and which way isn't clear. Cuts between eyes where eyes opportunity or termination in the perceived protector. Compañera, compañero, flailing you, slice eyes like razors, cutting up the meat, and I eat that shit, and I digest that shit. Puppeteer or maestro, sorceress or succubus, vomit verbiage between vipers and bears. Your eyes can't see which way we went. Does I rely on the moment's exchange? The character witness twists the story to exploit, to protect. The I reject in the you blurry in the right eye. I sit staring, blaring words choking, twisted throat muscles pulling inward, plexus plastered, coward, coiled. Strike, sink teeth, draw blood, blind the strange angles of fascination, and I bust apart and become beast. Joy and pain, do it again. No, never mind. I, we, you, must, should, can't, won't help. I die here. Blinded, separated, broke. I shift and split as the irresistible force and the immovable object dance the void closer and further and pulsing and squeezing. Alive, writhing near the water, the wee bee to release shoves the eye in the driver's seat. Speeding radio, you tune the screeches. Where were you? The invisible hand reaches for the wheel, whispering, meet me on eye level. Low tide revelation is a gas through the vents we colloid. Sing for the shore. We're all, most, home. I see past your shoulder in the moonlight there. My mouth waters because I know what it tastes like. There's plenty of room back here. Yes, sir, mercy. Please. The mechanism, how I roll my own shoulders back with that curated glance so clear at dawn and twilight, same. The light in your eyes, yes. The answer is yes. He wants me to pledge my allegiance. In the stupor of addiction to his viral methodology. To my allegiance itself. And how it might define me as I am. 4 hours sleep after a night to remember. Where for once in 20-some-odd years he himself finally pledged his own allegiance to my father. I am a schooner, my starboard exposed, they narrated my redemption. Good night, Irene. His boots are heavy. The makeup he claimed so stupid, once I am redeemed. Breast of such wind to fill the sails of dreams, nightmares, walking, waking. His tales fostered my growth as these righteous men play on and on. One on another, examples foretold. My brother, another between. My liaison unfolds. He whispers to me as I sleep in their bumptious knowledge. He says, hey, Kate, you know of a silent resilience. You fed them their next moves with each hand you dealt. The younger's hand curled across your chest as you slept. The elder's due diligence, he danced as he wept. For these men are not different, though they have through time learned a path that you have denied with your hesitant word. Your arms were their courage, they sang for your avarice. Their eyes were meant to show you the sea as they sail. The vision in your dreams was the compass they seek, the path which they prevail. You wrote it in their conscience. They storied their pasts and their presents without awareness beyond their muscle that it was your imagination that set the stage. The soothsayer and the maestro stood before each other, before you. They culled passions for a being beyond youth, maturity. They tempered metal for a female, a woman, child. They fought for the same war, a home and abroad. You tell their stories with every spice you add, woman, he said to me between their lines. As he told the man that he'd give all his worldly possessions to hear his voice one more time, to feel his presence. And yet he was there talking between us, you, us. And the infinite Joe, he answered, for you. He said, let me ask you this, Bab. Ball in the water to lure the big fish. What's it called again? And as it bobs the water, whether he speaks a question of his name or not, his stillness challenges the other man to his self-same tale, to ask the question unasked, do you see? Do you see? As if you hadn't defined what it was in the place that began their respective journeys. He told me, my brother, that chosen one of the infinite brethren stationed in the 32 minutes it took for the two of you to find your peace. When he pretended that he didn't see, to discern whether you would recognize the voice between the boy and the man, you held him while he held you. You kept his narrative with the grace of your supposition, your recipe dishing, each step of how deeply you loved him, even as he coldly turned from your offerings to face you in dignity, sparing you the tirade of their waves, feeding your future with their names to add, multiply, and exponentiate continuities current at each curated turn. He is making a point these days of living love I desired for so long, after all the ways we played each other for fools, for sages, for saving graces, for trash collected at the roadsides of each other's garbage. We pulled our opposing forces. They pooled in curious lacunae on our muddy lawn. As the phase shifted, the clock ticked on, the swinging impulse pressing, divine poison polarity enthralled, as we stared down each other's fears. All fang and foam, and he pointed north. Not the quickest on the draw, preferred to sit back in the cut, study the map. Today, I say, it is healing to balance the narcissist and the empath. To walk the beams between Dionysus and Apollo, between Hey Kate and Irene, toward our divine child's archipelago. It juts and struts that island of young woman out in the quay. Matrix crosshairs of the traveler's cross. Zeroed pulse from his eyes to mine. Points. And she screamed at me, how do you decide to have a child if you aren't ready to be a parent? A parent. Show up. Those words, they haunt and color future. The dark side pulled, the light propelled. There's a vivid one now of her and us at a community gathering. And she was hiding, but I found her because he showed me where to look. In her secret peace, she looked through me when his armor dropped to the floor. She was in the TV room, a mentor discussing ministry, narrating the scene, our Athena peeking cold eyes from under the cloth. She walked with me to the lawn where her family was waiting, For her. For her. Shine. She confided in me then with our ancestors watching. She said she was trying to understand God. Her eyes were pleading. I knew just how to answer her. It was when I heard the compass of certain sounds singeing his fingertips pointing toward our stations. She sprung, fully formed, from her father's mind and melted our faces. Tonight I hear the talk from 2 o'clock, the mother force which keeps rhythm rocked, the same snake that became the staff of truth in his hand. She anchors the petulant pendulum, that linkage known as the escape meant. The rebel force's general said when the ironclad soldier thought his path was the only path, she said, "This is the way." Tick, tock, and on. 4 steps from this synchronicity is an endless sea of faith. I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine.